Hey all, welcome to another video, and in this video I'll be talking about the evolution of a software engineer. Um, 19 months ago I started a new job, and what I realized after I started this new role, 6 months into it, I realized that the way I think about this line of work, or the way I think about the way I want to approach what I do, has changed quite a bit. Um, so what I mean is like um, back in the day, back in the day, in my jobs prior to this, uh, um, all I wanted to do was to build out all these cool features, to work with all this tech, write all this really performant code, write this code so that it's more extensible and so on and so forth. Like write all these, build out all these cool features. Uh, you know, do things like try to learn some new tech and then solve some complex problems and then optimize and so on and so forth. Yes, while I'm still interested in all those things, what I realized in this role is that I was I was more focused on ensuring that my team meets the sprint goal. So by that I mean, um, for those of you who are familiar with agile software development, it's we have a sprint and we have a sprint, and every sprint we take a bunch of stories, and the stories we have and as part of that we try to we take on a bunch of stories and we work on that during the sprint, and then the idea is to actually complete all those stories so we meet our sprint goal. For those of you who are not familiar with agile software development, I'll give you a quick summary of it. Agile software development is essentially iterative software development. It's the other it's the opposite of waterfall method. So in agile, you work on what you call sprints. It's like every 2 weeks, uh, you, you work on a sprint lasts a fortnight, which is every 2 weeks, and in that sprint you take on a bunch of stories. Now a story is like a feature or something for the system, so you work on that story, and then um, once you start the sprint, the goal is that you as a team meet that sprint goal. So you make sure all the stories are complete. The idea is when you start the sprint, or you have prior to starting the sprint, you have this agile ritual called sprint planning. And in sprint planning, the team decides on the stories that they will work on, and yeah. The idea is with the team must work together collectively to achieve the sprint goal. So yeah, in this new role, after I started this new role, I realized that I'm a lot more interested in ensuring that that my team, we meet the sprint goal. And what that meant was routinely stepping out of my comfort zone. So for my day job, I work at this large corporation, and we have hundreds of repositories. We've got Java, Spring Boot, or Java Jersey REST APIs, microservices, and then we've got NodeJS and React.js, and we've got Python for Bamboo CI/CD pipeline. Um, yeah, so we've got all that. So my teammates, they would they would prefer sticking to their guns. So what I mean is like they would like to work on the story with the technology that they're comfortable with. They want to focus on their efficiency of work by working with tech that they feel the most comfortable with, because they'll get things done a lot faster because they know they know more about that tech. They've been working with that tech for pretty much most of their 10-15 year careers. That was my team. That would be my team members. But I would routinely step out of my comfort zone and try to work on things that I had no idea about, and that are completely out of my comfort zone, and that are things that I have absolutely no idea how to do. I continuously do these sort of things, and in a certain way to my own detriment, because uh, I was I wouldn't be as fast as others would. Others who are experts in that particular field would be. But the thing is, every time we start a sprint, we have stories that nobody wants to work on. People are very busy working on their own things, and so someone to meet my focus was to meet the sprint goal. So someone we do need to work together, uh, and I do need to fill in that gap to ensure that we meet the sprint goal. I was very interested in that. Despite the fact that for some tech I really didn't like it very much. For example, I do not like working with Python. I prefer working with statically typed languages, and Python, no way. But um, we've got if my team, in our sprint, if we had like a story on Python, a story that involved working with Python, I'd be happy to take it up. I'm like, you know what, let's do it. I'll routinely step in and try to work on things that I have no idea. And then what I'll do is I'll actually follow up, and I'll use my time after hours or on weekends to write a document on Confluence on how to do something. Because me, as a smart software engineer, if I feel that if I have to spend some like an extra 2 or 3 or 4 hours on something simply because instructions are not very clear, that means that that needs to be documented. So the next person working on that shouldn't have to struggle through it like I did. Simple as that. I really believe in that. So I'd keep writing documents on the use my time after hours and keep writing these Confluence documents to make sure it's easy for the rest of my team or others who work on it. Um, Similarly, given that the organization that I work for is primarily a Windows shop, um, last year when we were issued MacBooks, um, being one of the first people in my team to be issued a MacBook, um, and being someone who spent uh, a majority of his career working with Unix-based systems as compared to my colleagues, I took the time to set up the MacBook and to configure things like how to get the profile right and how to get the development environment right, how to add certain certificates, how to use the Java key tool, and so on and so forth. I spent quite a bit of time and also wrote documents on how to do that. Yeah, so that was oddly enough, I actually enjoyed a lot of things, lot of these things a whole lot. My goodness, I never did like DevOpsy stuff, all this setting up and stuff when I was at university, or the first couple of years after university. But as of late, I really do enjoy these things. It's a lot of fun. I mean, oh my god, if you ask me to install a Linux distro, any Linux distro on a system, oh man, or a virtual environment, I'd love that. That's so awesome. That's so much fun. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but yes, that's a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot. I used to pick on one of my mates who used to love doing this back when we were in uni. We had this event called Linux Install Fest, and then one of my mates, he would be so excited about this. I'm like, I don't get it, man. What are you doing? But now I love this. I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy to be a part of that Install Fest. Anyway, so yeah, all of these things. So coming to sort of bring this to a full circle. So yeah, as of late, what I'm noticing is like this is it's just how I've evolved. Like it's just an evolution of software engineer. Yes, I still love writing code. I still love writing performance code and all that. but at the same time, I want to make sure um, my team meets their goals, because that's, if we pick and if we start if we agree to collectively work on something as a team, it is my job to do what I can and help my team members succeed. Do whatever I can to ensure that my team can do their best work. If that means that I take up some other tasks, such as configuring certain environments for writing the E2E UI test, fine, I'll do that. Or if it means struggling with some really convoluted Python code for for Bamboo CI/CD, so my colleagues can so it can free up time for my colleagues to do something else, I'm happy to do that. So yeah, I guess this is what software engineer evolved. Uh, this is, I guess, this is what I describe as an evolution of a software engineer in me. And one of the last tasks that they gave me at my role, my now previous role, was a task to determine the scope of refactoring certain code. So when I say refactor, I meant this was a huge component. The changes were quite a bit, and it was more like, we've got algorithm A, which we developed like some years ago, and now we've got algorithm algorithm B. So algorithm B is better, more advanced than algorithm A. So what's the effort involved if we were to replace algorithm A with algorithm B? So I did the analysis on that, and as part of this, I spent quite a bit of time, and the idea was for me to prepare something that can give the team an idea of how long it would take. I did that and realized that it would take about a month and a half or 2 months to do that. And that was one of the last things that I worked on in my old team. And as the year started, I was given a new role, and this role, it requires, I'm kind of away from my old team, as an SME for my team, to a completely different team in the organization. I'm there to analyze and help with certain security efforts that are very critical to our organization. So that's what it is. So that was it. That was I think I pretty much said what I wanted to say. Uh, so yeah, the evolution of a software engineer. The point that I'm trying to make would be that, I guess, as you get older, uh, the things that you once liked, you become more responsible, and the things that you once liked, while you still like them, you just have a more mature mindset on the problems that you want to solve and how you want to contribute to the team that you're part of. So yeah, that's about it, and hope my message got across. I hope I got the message across in this video, and thank you for watching. I wish you well and live long and prosper.